is quite renowned. He's been working with in Rio for about 25 years. He's a former professional goalie on the soccer team. He's a former security guard, former model, and he accidentally kind of fell into an artistic life. And he's been helping kids in the favelas. He always has people on his crew who've had hard times. He's a real, walking down the street with Sergio in Rio is like walking down the street with something between an angel and a rock star. And so he's made these models out of trash, out of micro garbage. His view is that if you recycle your city, you can recycle your view. And so he makes these models, huge models of neighborhoods, favelas, from memory. He just constructs these places. And you know, the detail is so intricate, you can just get lost. And we thought, well, if the students' work from last year can hypnotize Sergio and get his imagination pulled into a model, and then he's doing that to us, and maybe we should try to do it together somehow. And so this is some work of his at the Cuban Biennale. And then coincidentally, or at the same time, Julie and I, my partner in my office, and I, with the help of Steve Garcia, made this, we very quickly made this spatial construct for an exhibition in Philadelphia. We called it the Astrofoil. Basically, to make a long story short, Raul said, "What is this thing?" And I said, "It's an imagination vessel." And so then he said, "All right, let's put that on hold and we'll make it come up with this new plan." So the idea was how to combine our so-called, our studio's predisposed high-tech ways of articulating space and geometry with Sergio's low-tech approach. And what happened? What happened is that all this stuff, this will wait for you to talk about this stuff. So what you see around here, around you, is it all happened in a week. We had Sergio come up for a week. Before Sergio arrived in New York, the students had made dozens of little models just describing their own geometric interests and spatial interests. Right away, right the very first day of student, they started making these things. And then we put it all on the table. Sergio walked in.
As a way to introduce him to the students, we had a table and an entire floor filled with models that they had produced over 1 week. And so the idea then was to pair to students, but not necessarily knowing who the students are, just looking at the models, and as a way for him to interact with the students and study the models. Which was also very interesting because this whole notion of recycling site, in a way we were kind of recycling his site because we offered a kind of a new field for him to operate. And so he then, we then paired up the models, and we all had to figure out how to scale this up and have the students start to work on this larger armature in which Sergio would start to operate, and have all of this happen simultaneously, and eventually have the students do Sergio's work and Sergio do some of their work.
It was actually pretty, it was super intense and exciting at the same time because the students were teamed up through their models. They had no say in it really. It was Sergio, it was just kind of a discussion, and at the end of the discussion, now we have teams of 2 working with Sergio for a week. And the idea it was charged on many fronts as well. We had students from Iceland, Taiwan, China, Austria, Peru, Colombia, Spain, and none of them had been through anything like this before. Sergio had never done anything like this before. And the communication was primarily through action.